Hi friends, ERIKATESLA here. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is about giving grace and not passing judgment. And I don't know if you guys have seen that trend on TikTok with couples, and unfortunately a lot of the videos are sadly toxic, but this is a non-toxic environment over here. But the trend I'm referencing is the we listen and we don't judge. So I'm asking you as my friends here to listen and not judge, because today we're going to be talking about palettes that I have purchased but I have not used. I have purchased these palettes and I want to use them. I have the desire to use them. It just has not happened. Like the connection just has not formed into an actual look or anything like that. So these are palettes that are on my radar, and to be fair, some of them are newer to my collection, and then some of these palettes I have had for a while. So you know, as always, you know, we're gonna lead with kindness. We're not judging, even though I'm judging myself. I am a Capricorn, so I do judge probably everything, including myself, very harshly. However, in this instance, we're going to keep it fun. We're going to keep it light. We're going to talk about these palettes and my thoughts on them, and my hopes and dreams for the future with these palettes. So to get into it, we're going to start with one of the newest palettes in my collection. So we're definitely not judging on this one, but it has been out for a while. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Cosmos palette. I had my eye on this one for a while, guys. So when it first came out, I really wanted to get this palette specifically for this shade Super Cluster. So as you can see, I haven't even like swatched this beauty. Like it's beautiful, and I am really excited to get into this one. I think it's a gorgeous, gorgeous palette. So it will get used. It just hasn't happened yet. And I picked this up during the Sephora sale. So this is a newer addition to my palette collection, but I think it's a beautiful palette, and it's a really good mix of kind of cooler tones, a little bit of warmth, and a little bit of shimmery color, which is like definitely my vibe. So really excited to get into this one. I don't feel as guilty as I should because it is newer. I haven't had it as long, and that takes us to our next set of palettes from the same brand. So when these came out, I was really excited because it's been a while, guys. It's been a really long time, I'll be honest with you, since anything from Beauty Bay like caught my eye. So I got these two palettes here. So we're gonna start with the little baby one. This is their 9-color mini charms palette, and as you can see, it has a lot of, I think, similarity to the Cosmos palette, which actually I'm gonna pull that in so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm over here making a mess, guys, but here are the two. So as you can see, the Cosmos palette, and that's the shade that I just made a dent in, so we're not counting that as a use, but they have similar vibes. Not exactly the same, but this center shade in the Beauty Bay palette kind of reminds me of the Super Cluster shade in the Cosmos palette. So there's some similarities there. I think that they could play off of each other really nicely. So I have these two shimmery palettes here that I really haven't gotten into, but it just looks so pretty. And I think this is like the first one like this that Beauty Bay has done. So I was really excited to try out this formula. And with that, we have the Celestial Charms palette, and this is right up my alley. As you can see by what I have on my eyes, I really do love like the purpley, plummy shades, these deeper shades, specifically for my skin tone and for brown eyes. I have obviously brown eyes. And this was just such a sultry palette, and I thought it was like going to be perfect for like the fall and the winter. And you have some true purple tones in here. You've got this beautiful magenta. You've got this Zodiac shade, which is like a gorgeous like deep teal, like just very, very pretty. Like I could see some really nice looks coming out of this one. We've got Comet, which is like this gorgeous like warm coppery shade, and as always you have a few neutral, like ish neutral mattes. So just a really beautiful palette. And this one I got because it reminded me so much of the Age of Opulence palette from Beauty Bay that I have and I love. And I had this grand dream, guys, of doing like a comparison video because a lot of people were like, oh, this one looks a lot like that one other palette. And I think I commented on another friend's YouTube channel, like Age of Opulence, because they have a similar vibe. That one has like a little bit more like punchy teals and blues and things like that. Nonetheless, really, really excited to pull that one out. I'm trying to, you know, make sure that I prioritize these palettes. So the next one, guys, okay, this one I picked up because of FOMO. Like everyone was raving about the Byredo Mineralscapes palette. So here is this palette. I think I have like touched exactly like one shade, but this is just, it's beautiful. It's very chic. It's very sophisticated. It has just a very like, I don't know, like a soothing element to it, which makes sense. Like if you look at the cover of the palette, you have, you know, of course, these jewel tones and, you know, evokes these feelings of like semi-precious stones. And you've got the grays. What really pulled me into this one, because I think there was one that was released before this that looked good. I missed that one. Were these like cool tones. So I am also a big cool tone fan. And so I got it into my head, like I really need to get this. It went in and out of stock, and then it kept getting sold out. And then when it finally restocked, I was like, okay, let me just grab it. And so I proceeded to get it and then proceeded to not use it. So here we are with a palette that is like top of my list to get into for the end of the year into the new year. It's so beautiful. I am not parting with this at all. Like, and I just want to say too, for all of these palettes, like I don't have plans to declutter any of these palettes. These are palettes that I do have the intention to use. Now, as far as a declutter, there are some things that I have tried that maybe didn't love that probably I will let go of. To that point, I do really like this. I'm very excited to get into this one. It's a beautiful palette. It's a very chic palette and just really pretty. I mean, I love the packaging. Unfortunately, you know, it's shiny, so you're gonna get fingerprints on it. Really, really pretty. I don't think that one's available anymore, but I have it. I have it in my collection. I have two indie palettes here. I am a bad person because these are beautiful palettes and I just didn't get to use these. I just have not gotten to use these. So these are from Fantasy Cosmetica. So we have the Rogue palette, which, what is wrong with me? Like, what is my problem? Like, look at this color story. Like, how gorgeous is this, right? So, you know, no, I'm not on substances, but like, why am I behaving as such? Like, I should have used this a long time ago. This is beautiful. Like this shade, Cunning, oh my gosh, like look at that. Look at that teal. It's like a deep blue teal. We have Assassin, which is a gorgeous black. I mean, I love these kind of lilac shades as well. So I'm going to prioritize using the Rogue palette, which is gorgeous. And also look at this Druid palette. Look at this Druid palette. So I can tell that I like swatched the shade Root, but I haven't used these on my eye. And look at these greens. And I think green shades like this look incredible on brown eyes. So literally I have no excuses. And these were gifted by the brand when I was at Creators and Friends. So I've had these since April. And I've been looking at them and, you know, PR kept coming in and life just kept happening. And so I really want to prioritize these. I did receive and I have used Fantasy Cosmetica's palette with my friend Makeup Just for Fun, Amanda, and love the formula, love the formula. So I literally have like zero reasons to not get into these other than I need to put these in a place where I can prioritize them. So the next palette we're going to talk about is from Glamlight. So this is like a very fun palette, guys. This is the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air palette. And all I've done so far is like swatch it. So I have not actually worn it on my eyes, worn it in a look. I just kind of went into some of the shades and swatched them. So you could see like the majority of the palette, like I haven't really done much with it other than to like just dabble in here. And this is just such a fun palette. And I think Glamlight has like really blown up on TikTok right now. So I think they were selling this for like as low as $5, which I'm just, you know, thinking to myself, if I had known, maybe I would have like waited. I liked this one. I did have at one point the Scooby-Doo palettes that they had launched a couple of years ago. I had let those go. I had a friend with daughters that are really into makeup and I hadn't used those, right? And I was thinking like, oh, I really like those colors, but I like that this is kind of a nice edited combination of those two palettes in the sense that you have this fun green shade, you've got the blue, you've got the purples. So Glamlight does tend to have launches that I think, I don't think they use like maybe the exact same shades, but a lot of them that come back are similar. And I guess with like some of their licensing, like certain palettes that'll go away, I feel like they reincarnate in other ways. And so I do feel like some of the shades from the original like Scooby-Doo collection are similar, maybe not exactly the same, but similar. But with that being said, I think this is like a really fun, just spunky palette that's a lot of fun, and I want to put it on my eyes, okay? Because I dug in there, and what's cool too is this has a little bit of texture to it, like his hat and his shirt have like this little velvety texture to them, and it's one of my favorite shows from back in the day, irrespective of what, you know, Will Smith does in his real life. Like I enjoyed that show from my youth. The next palette that I want to talk about is Silent Night from Gourmand Girls. And, you know, again, I have no excuses because this palette is like freaking gorgeous. I mean, look at this. So this is my first palette from the brand. This is the palette that made me cave. And I don't know if you guys have this experience where you'll see an indie brand launch some stuff and maybe you're a little bit skeptical because not all indie brands are created equal. Like I've seen a lot of them come and go. Some of them are better than others with like customer service. Well, I have to say Gourmand Girls is professional. Okay, professional, because I got this palette beautifully packaged. I have the other Peach Perfect palette, which I have used and I have swatched, and I do really love the formula. So I know that I'm going to like this palette. I already know that I love the color story. I just have to use it. So this was their holiday palette, I believe, from last year. And so this one is definitely on my priority list. We have the blues, we have these cool tones, we have matte neutrals. So there, you know, we have some gorgeous shimmers here in duochrome. So it's just on me to put this into rotation, but it's a beautiful palette and I can't wait to dig into this one. And it's just such a pretty palette for the holiday season. And so I'm really glad to have that in my collection. I just got to make myself use it. So last but not least, guys, I have two Sigma palettes that I have no reason to not use. So these I've had for a while. And what makes this really messed up that I haven't used these is that I love Sigma. I love the brand. I love their eyeshadow. I did a video a few months ago on the Little Mermaid palette, which I actually ended up taking that one to the Dominican Republic with me. I wore that like every day. I loved it. It was just such a gorgeous palette. It lasted me through the heat. Really, really good. So I enjoy Sigma's palettes because they have continued to just improve. So I had always had my eye on the Enchanted palette because look at this color story. It's very romantic. It's very romantic. It's giving me garden feelings, especially with like the deep green shade here and these beautiful shimmer shades. And as you can see, I have not even taken the brush out of here. I have no reasons. No good reasons to not have used this palette because it's absolutely beautiful. Like, look at these shades. We've got some duochrome action happening in here, these beautiful shimmers. I would say this is a very balanced color story. And so this is one that is on my priority list. And then this one, I don't believe you can get this one anymore. Again, we're listening, we're not judging. Please don't reserve judgment. I know this one has been out for a while, but it's perfect. It's in pristine condition. It comes with this cool insert here. But here we have the Alice in Wonderland palette. I feel like the Cinderella color story looked a little bit similar to this one. I could be wrong. I'm just going off of memory. But again, I have this beautiful brush that comes with the palette. We have these really fun shades in here. And I think that this was maybe a purchase I made because when I saw this, I was like, oh, this is like one of the more fun palettes I saw coming from the brand because I was like in a color era when I picked this up. So I'm not ready to let this one go because I really want to use these shades. Like, they're really, really pretty and just, you know, it's a fun palette. I think they did a really great job with the theming for this one. So I definitely want to get into that. So you guys, those are the palettes that I haven't used yet. Again, thank you for not judging me. Thank you for still watching this video and not, you know, closing the browser in disgust, okay? Like, I get it. I get it. Please don't be mad at me. I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna work on using these palettes. If there's anyone in particular you would like to see a look with, I have a growing list of things that I really want to do, really want to pump out for you. And I think a part of the challenge that I have is that I have such a love for makeup. I have a love for eyeshadow palettes, and you know, this is my personal passion. It's something I really enjoy. And so when I see the colors and I see the packaging, I see the whole thing, I get very excited about it. And so I feel like I've done better this past year in terms of purchases. Like, I've been a lot more prudent. So these are palettes that I do think I will have more space for in the coming year to use. Or maybe it's just me being delusionally optimistic. What do the kids say? They say delulu. Am I being delulu? Don't answer that question, because I'm not ready to face the answer. So anyway, just, you know, we're having some lighthearted fun here. I really am excited to get into some of these palettes, guys. Let me know if there was one in particular that you're like, just get your life together and use it. I feel like the Fantasy Cosmetica palettes are really calling me, because like they have some really pretty like shimmers. They're all really, really nice. And so I feel really grateful to have such beautiful options in my collection. So you guys let me know in the comments down below which one I should dig into first. If I can get my life together, I will either post it in the community tab, or maybe even try to do, one of the things I do want to do, this is a goal for myself and I'm going to put it into the universe, would be to, you know, feature some more shop your stash content, because I'm sure, like me, a lot of you have some products in your collection that you don't really see people talking about because it's discontinued, or interest maybe has fizzled out in that particular product. But I still think a lot of these products, you can still get some fun use out of them. So anyway, with that being said, guys, thank you for listening to me ramble during this last part of the video. I hope you enjoyed watching this little you know, traipse down memory lane and just, you know, decisions that I've made, that kind of thing. But yes, thank you guys. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to hang out with me. Please be sure to like this video if you enjoy content like this. Make sure to leave me a comment. I love hearing from you guys. And if you would be so kind as to consider subscribing to my channel, I would so love to have you join my little corner of the internet where we hang out. And like I like to say, we keep it pretty chill over here. And as always, thank you for taking time out of your day to hang out with me. I sincerely appreciate it. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.